Talk about this diplomatic standoff ahead of this week's Syria peace conference. With me is Shehata from BBC Arabic. Syed, great to have you on set with us. There are so many groups involved in this. There are so many views. It's almost like the phrase herding cats comes to mind. Impossible to come to a clear-cut solution.
It is a complicated and complex situation because the actors who are involved in the conflict in Syria are many. Iran, Russia, Hezbollah from one side, on the Syrian side, and on the other side is the United States, France, Britain, and the UN. So each one try, and in between that, the real people is the Syrian regime from one side and the divided opposition, either political opposition, which divided between several factions. The main one is the Syrian National Coalition, but there is another faction within the opposition. And on the military level, there is the Free Syrian Army, there is the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant or Syria, and the Jabhat al-Nusra and the Islamic Front, and there is many actors in that, and this makes the ending the situation or ending the violence there is very daunting task. This is the reason Ban Ki-moon last week in a conference in Kuwait, he called for a political solution and he called for Iran to play a role, but was not finalized at that time last week.
Well, let's talk about the political solution. Is it simple, if you want to break this down, is it too simplistic to perhaps say Bashar al-Assad should stay or go?
No, it's more complicated than that, because it's not, because if al-Assad leave tomorrow, who is going to replace him? And this is a dilemma before the West. And this is the reason even the States and Britain saying Bashar al-Assad shouldn't have any role in the future, in the transitional period, according to Geneva 1. But at the same time, they don't have alternative to replace him. And they fear from the scenario in Iraq to happen in Syria again, because there is sectarian violence there and the opposition is divided, so the opposition doesn't help itself. And even before going to the participate in Geneva 2, there is 44 of them left and withdrew, and they are against that. And even they said the decision by the Syrian National Coalition is illegal because 58 voted for going to participate in this Geneva, but the number of the coalition is 120, and it needs 2/3 to agree on any decision. So it is very complicated.
Syed, you have been following the events in this country for as long as the conflict has been going on and well before. How does the country move forward? We speak of numbers such as 1 million children, refugees, displaced from the country. We hear these shocking figures come out. Even if a resolution is found between the political factions, what happens to the people in the country?
It's a big problem, and with I interviewed last week Valerie Amos, the Undersecretary of Ban Ki-moon for Humanitarian Aid, and she told me it's immense because it needs $65 billion. But the Kuwait conference for the donors to Syria last week, they only pledged $2.4 billion, and even there's difficulty to go inside the area. So even after the solution is started, which will take time, to bring people back, more than 3 million people, refugees in other countries and displaced people in Syria, and the trauma and the psychological, so you need a long rehabilitation for the Syrian people. So, but it is an important step. The political solution will pave the way for the humanitarian aid to go to this conflict area. Otherwise, the misery will be more and more. But the political solution will put an end for the misery, which will need ages to be recovered.
Syed, your insights have been invaluable. Thank you very much for coming on set and talking to us. Thank you. Syed Shehata there from BBC Arabic.